scare them off somehow. This is getting really weird. Those red eyes. There must be more than a dozen of them out there. Perhaps I can find something to scare them off before they realize my fire isn't so scary after all. Maybe it'll give them a fright. They're gone. Hopefully they're gonna stay gone too. It won't be too long now until sunrise. What a night. I never got back to sleep. What were those things? Hey, maybe I caught them on camera. What the... In all the horror movies I've ever watched, I've never seen anything like this. It's a westerly direction to get to the mission. Professor, I'm on my way. The mission. At last. Hello? Anyone home?
God be praised, my child. What can I do for you?
My name is Samantha Peters. I'm looking for a group of scientists. Their leader is called Professor Hartman. According to the notes I found in their camp, they were headed here before they disappeared.
Yes, the men you're looking for arrived here yesterday.
Finally, I've caught up. Can you take me to them?
Unfortunately, that's not possible. They are in quarantine.
Quarantine?
They are very ill. They have high fevers and are unresponsive. Nobody is allowed near them until the doctor gets here. We want to avoid any possible spread of the disease.
Can't I at least have a brief talk with Professor Hartman? It really is very important.
The professor isn't here.
Not here? Where is he?
If I've understood the men correctly, they were attacked at night and the professor was taken away.
Damn it! Do you know who attacked them?
You have to go now, my child. It is not safe here when the darkness falls.
What aren't you telling me? What is it that you're so afraid of? I'm not going anywhere until you tell me what's going on here.
Child, I just want to protect you. If I let you in, you could become infected. And outside, you are not safe from the...
Yes, not safe from what? In the scientist's notes, it says that one of them was attacked by some animal species he didn't recognize before he became ill.
That was no animal.
Well, what was it then? For Christ's sakes! Oh, forgive me.
Our Father, who art in heaven.
Listen, sister. You will now talk, or else I will break the fifth commandment. Who ambushed the scientists and dragged off the professor?
They come from above. The trees.
Locals? Rebels? Hunters?
No, not humans.
Well, what then? Not animals? Not humans? Aliens, perhaps?
The Asambosam.
Asambosam? Never heard of him.
Ancient Ashanti legends tell of strange nighttime beings that lurk in wait for their victims among the boughs of the trees. They pluck unfortunate souls from the ground using their long, sharp claws, and then drag them off to their caves where they then suck the blood from their victims' bodies.
So what does your boss have to say about your believing in such blasphemous scare stories?
Scare stories? When you have lived among the Ashanti as long as I have, there's very little that appears unbelievable.
Let's reel this conversation back in from the nether regions of God's asshole and stick to the facts. I shot this photo last night. This little freak was one of a whole group sitting in the trees above me. Might this be one of your Bosum?
Holy Maria, Mother of God, you can count your blessings that you are still alive, my child.
So these freaks really have schlepped off the professor then? Suppose it's true. Where would the Bosum take their victims?
Into their caves.
I got that bit. Where are they exactly?
My child, you really don't want to go there.
Yes, I do. There's one hell of a real scoop of a story there for sure. And I just might be able to save the professor while I'm at it. That is, as long as these things haven't sucked him dry already.
Then I really won't be able to stop you, my child. Wait here a moment. This will be a great help to you on your reckless undertaking. Take it.
What is it?
Some intense studies of the Bosum and Ashanti legends.
Thanks.
May the Lord watch over you.
Not much to look at. Julius, 1767 to 1832. Here lie my mortal remains. I just wish they were yours. That's terrible. Sister Josephine, 1852 to 1904. Here rest her bones, and for the first time, alone. Cheeky. Billy, 1907 to 2006. Only the good die young. Either he had a low opinion of himself or a wicked sense of humor. On the gravestone it says, J.H.M. Excuse me for not standing up. Must have been a proper gentleman. Or a Groucho Marx fan. Father Samuel's grave. Strange. No epitaph, no date of birth, no date when he died. Just the name. Oh, and 9 curious symbols chiseled into the stone. Looks like lines and trees. An empty clay bowl. Who left this here? This is where the notes begin. So there were already patients at the mission with the same symptoms as the scientists. So were these men under attack from the same creatures? Let's see. Here it is. The attackers came out of the trees and surrounded them. Interesting. There had also been similar cases in the past. The locals call the attackers the Bosum. They're also supposed to be responsible for transmitting a virus. The old Ashanti shamans were able to control these mysterious beings and could protect themselves from the disease. The priest found himself in great danger on his quest for the antidote. The Asambosum exist. Now it's gonna get interesting. Ugh, such a lot of text. The priest stumbled across one of these Asambosum and followed him to a cave. The translation of the inscriptions at the cave entrance brought something astonishing to light. It detailed a description of a ritual which could protect against catching the Asambosum disease, and which could also cure it. They carried out the ritual, and despite no ready explanations for how, it worked. These experiences really rocked Father Samuel's concept of the world. This is where it lists what you need for the ritual and how to carry it out. It's incredible. I suppose I have to accustom myself to the notion that the Asambosum may not be pure fiction. The priest's very convincing. Unfortunately, he took his knowledge of the route to the cave to the grave with him. At least I now know how I can protect myself from the Asambosum disease. When I find out where they're hiding, I still might be able to rescue the professor. Oh, a loose page has fallen out. It's blank. That reminds me. What's a blonde doing when she's staring at an empty sheet of paper? According to my last boyfriend, she's reading her rights. Har bloody har. Father Samuel's grave. Strange. No epitaph, no date of birth, no date when he died. Just the name. Oh, and 9 curious symbols chiseled into the stone. Looks like lines and trees. Great. That lets me transfer the symbols onto the paper. The pencils had it, but I've now got perfect copies of the 9 symbols on Father Samuel's gravestone. Okay, I'll carefully cut out the different symbols. I can't exactly say I'm crazy about puzzles. I'll take this part as my starting piece. The route to the Asambosum's caves. Father Samuel drew in the route to the Asambosum caves on this map. A few stems of alyssum also need to go in the pot. Star lily. Very pretty. One blossom for my hair, one for the ritual, and one to stamp under my feet as an expression of rebellion. Looks like the Goethe plant. I'll pluck myself a blossom from it. I ought to concentrate on the plants I need, as listed in the diary. That has to be rose herb. I need a stalk from it. I ought to concentrate on the plants I need, as listed in the diary. One blossom from the hyacinth is enough, according to the diary. The Asambosum's caves must be near here. Hopefully the professor's doing all right. The entrance to the caves. And no sign of the professor. I'd better go in and take a look. After carrying out the written instructions for Father Samuel's protection ritual, of course. I have absolutely no inclination to go catching hideous jungle monster disease. It's actually here. Weird. There are no birds. No animal calls. Even the bats seem to be frightened to make a rustle. I'm not superstitious, but why take an unnecessary risk? Without the protection ritual, not even 10 Asambosum could get me into those caves. The pot's empty. Let's decant this delicate brew. Home economics is for housewives. Boiling the lemonades produced a thick, sticky syrup. That should work. Gotcha. The ant stuck to the brush. Almost too easy. I had to give it a go with chopsticks. Gotcha. One more. A respectable kill. Peters, the big small game hunter. And in it goes. And in it goes. And in it goes. And in it goes. The diary doesn't instruct the char grilling of the ingredients before the recipe's complete. So, that ought to be all the ingredients. Let's see what happens. Ugh, the way that stinks, just the smoke could keep pretty much anything away from me. Was that one of those things?